stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Hump Day. The Lightning have hit 11 in a row. What a game last night. And never seen such an exciting scoreless game. That was up and down the ice. Yeah, it was fun to watch. Really fun to watch. So we'll hit the Lightning hard today. Erik Erlendsson is going to join us at 11 o'clock, Lightning Insider, before he does the Lightning Lunch show today. So we'll get a taste from him as well as Charlie Strong, Bucs former defensive line coach who was let go as part of the coaching purge. So we'll hear from Coach Strong and ask him some questions about what went down last year and what the future holds for him. I mean, I was chatting with Coach the other day, and he reminded me that he's worked for some of the giants in the game. I mean, the giants in the game. You mentioned a coach. He's worked for him, Nick Saban, Steve Spurrier, obviously. Just the best of the best that he's worked for on so many levels. So we'll chat with Charlie Strong about all kinds of stuff. Obviously, the USF coach at one time, and get his thoughts on where that program is right now, college football in general, as he was the head coach of Texas. So we got lots to go through with the great Charlie Strong, two-time ACC Coach of the Year. Good morning, Tim. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. I'm doing well, JP.
I like the floppy hat, bro.
Yeah, you like that?
The floppy hat. Like it. Do we have more technical issues?
No, I think we're good.
JS813 says more technical issues. I think Stu hacked the show again. Are you guys hearing us? Everything
I'm showing
good?
everything fine.
Everything fine on my end. Everything looks good. Let us know what you're seeing there, JS813. There's bugs in the system lately, so everybody, I guess, gets a different feed these days, Timmy. I don't know what's going on. You would know more than me.
I don't know. I'm watching this on YouTube right now, and we look amazing, JP.
We look great, don't we? Fabulous. Yeah. We got our gear on.
We look marvelous.
Marvelous. Yeah. So if you guys are seeing something different, let us know. All right. We'll jump right in with the Lightning and incredible game last night, back to back, playing in Pittsburgh against Sid and Monken and all the boys. And Vasi was absolutely fantastic last night, especially in the overtime. Wow, the overtime was just insane. Did you get a chance to watch the game last night, Timmy, or were you?
No, I did see some highlights though this morning. No. So yeah, I didn't get.
Yeah, the overtime is worth the 5-minute investment. I don't know if there was a whistle ever in the overtime. They just went back and forth. Vasi making incredible saves. The Lightning really didn't pressure that much in overtime. Frankly, didn't get too many good shots. Shilovs didn't have to make any crazy stops, but Vasi made about 5 or 6 incredible saves in the overtime. And then in the shootout as well, made a couple of saves, and Kucherov finished it off in the shootout with a beautiful shot, and they win 2-1 in the shootout, their 11th straight win. That ties the franchise record for longest streak. It's the longest streak so far in this season. The last time they won 11 in a row, they won a Stanley Cup. So it does bode well for a lot of different things. And we kind of talked about this yesterday. We'll reiterate it. And I mentioned this yesterday. It's been the defense that has really keyed this run. Yeah. And it's even more amazing with the fact that you're playing without Hedman, McDonough, Chernak for large parts of it. Chernak played last night. He got beat up a little bit last night as well. But it was a physical game. It was a game not devoid of chances. There were tons of them. But nobody could get a goal. And, of course, in most of these games, when you have incredible play on both sides and nobody's scoring and you got great goaltending, it's a fluke goal that's going to, be the key, right? And that's what it was for J.J. Moser, Gord's coming down the ice, and I think they had an odd man, and Gord shoots the puck. Shilovs goes down, and it's stuck in his equipment somewhere, and he doesn't know where it is. But he's frozen because they say, don't move. If it's not in the net, don't move. You don't know where it is. And so Raquel, who was skating stride for stride with Moser, thinks that the goalie has it. So he just kind of peels off and go, like the play, they're going to blow the whistle, but they never blew the whistle. because they didn't know where the puck was. And then the puck kind of fell out right in front, and Moser just happened to be going by, but he stayed focused, right? Didn't peel off like the defender, Raquel, did. Stayed focused and just popped it right in the net. And you just feel like, all right, we went 55 minutes, and that's how we're going to break the scoring. So then the Lightning are holding on for the final 5 minutes, and Malkin gets, puck pops off the wall, and he just makes a great shot, beating Vasi to the stick side, I believe it was, off the post and in. Just a perfect shot, and nothing you can do about it. And that's Evgeny Malkin. That happens, right? So you go to overtime, 1-1. Pittsburgh dominates the overtime. You survive. You get to the shootout. I think it was Gonsalves that got the first one, save, and then Vasi gave one up, and then we needed Coach for the winner, and of course he delivers like he's been so freaking red hot the past couple of weeks. So another win for the Lightning. That's 11 in a row. And boy, is this a story in patience. And, you never know in this league. Like nobody predicted Darren Radish would take over for Hedman the way he has on the power play and just in general. Nobody predicted that this 27-year-old journeyman defenseman would come in here and play just lights out hockey the way he's been playing. He's just so good. He's so good positionally, smart with the puck. And all these guys who have come up have just done a Declan Carlisle's done a fantastic job. And Moser has, turned into one of the best defensemen in the league. His numbers are off the charts. So when these guys come back, the depth is going to be great, and you're going to have injuries, so that's important. Now, speaking of injuries, so Pointer's injury, according to John Cooper, the worst was avoided. The worst case scenario was avoided. And so that tells me no ACL, no MCL tear.
Man, it sure did look bad.
Yeah.
I've watched that thing over and over again. It did not look good.
Yeah. And I'm not sure why. I don't want to call it a dirty play, but I'm not sure why York is just diving into the skate, to the knee of Braden Point. It just seemed a little weird. But anyway, I don't think it was a dirty play. It just was awkward more than anything else.
Yeah, it's just awkward, I think. I think that's a good word for it.
But we still don't know. It's week to week. Will he be able to play for Canada in Milan? We'll see. That's probably doubtful. And, not for nothing. If you're a Lightning fan, you're kind of like, okay, well, I know that Olympics are important, and we know it is. But if you can't play, you can't play. And you need to be rested. So that's a whole nother, but that's on Braden Point. That's on the organization. They'll figure that out. And I know how important it is. It is, it only comes around once every 4 years. And, at Braden's Point's age, he might be able to make the next one, but doubtful. So, and certainly won't be able to do it with his buddy Hagel and his coach as the coach. I would, maybe Cooper could be back, absolutely, but you just don't know.
If you watch Brody Brazil, you don't want any of your guys going over there to play in that arena.
What's Brody up to these days?
On that freaking sheet pan ice. Oh, dude, apparently that arena is in horrible shape. It's not even close to being finished.
Yeah, we've read the stories. I saw some pictures from the
and there are holes in the ice. Like they tried to do their little demo, first run through game on the ice the other day, and they couldn't finish the game because the ice was in such bad shape. I mean, literal holes in the ice.
Wow.
So
that's not good.
I may not want my guys over there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're talking about, listen, if that thing is dangerous, then that is a no-go. You cannot be putting players out there. What are my Italian brethren doing? What are we doing?
Well, let's be honest, JP. If there's anything the Italians are known for, it's definitely hockey.
Well said. Well, we could have farmed this out. We're building a damn sheet of ice here in Florida in less than a month. I think we could, maybe we could have hired some people that know what the hell they're doing.
Did you see the scoreboard?
No.
Hanging from center ice in an Olympic arena. It's the size of this TV. The one that the 4-sided scoreboard hanging from the ceiling,
right,
is the size of this TV.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
It is embarrassing.
Well, I mean, all that accoutrement and obviously the locker rooms are not finished or up to standard. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you have an unsafe ice surface, that's shutting it down.
Yes.
You can't do that. Bad. You cannot do that. Guys getting hurt. You got holes in the ice. That's not okay. Can't do it. You can't play. You cannot play. So they better fix that shit fast. And and this is one of those things where they'll push it, right? Oh, it might be because it's so important. It's so important that people look forward to this, especially this particular year, that, people are going to try and push this to see what's good.
But you're risking NHL players. I mean,
that's a recipe for disaster is what it is. So
you might have some teams stepping in and going, "Oh, we know we approved this, but that was before we saw where you're playing."
Is there a team? Is there a team in the NHL that has more Olympic players than the Lightning?
Yeah,
dare say no.
Yeah,
I mean, our whole damn team and coaching staff are going. I don't know.
Doesn't sound good.
Yep.
Did you see okay, look, everybody knows my feelings on the Olympics. I think it's a colossal waste of time anyway. It's just antiquated. Nobody cares. But I do like certain winter Olympic sports. I do like certain winter Olympic sports.
Okay.
I love hockey. I love the bobsled. I love the luge, the skeleton, all of those things, right? Did you see
the vodka shot luge? I think that's your favorite.
I love the vodka shot. I love anything involving vodka shots or Tuaca shots or Jaeger shots. Yeah. But did you see I forgot what team it was, what country it was. So the 4-man bobsled, it takes like 3 of those guys to steer that thing, right? On the 4-man. I mean, you got the guy in the back steering the skates in the back, and they were doing a practice run on wherever they're doing it there. And the 3 guys, they're all outside the bobsled pushing it to get it going.
Right.
And then they all jump in, right?
Right. Yeah, we've seen this.
Well, the 3 guys behind the front guy all fell off as they were going.
Was this the Jamaican bobsled team?
Dude, it looked like something out of a freaking cartoon. And then
Cameroon
the guy in the front, I don't know how long it took him to realize he was by himself, but he can't drive the thing by himself. He can steer the front, but that back end it looked like me in high school, man, trying to
fishtailing all over the place.
Dude,
well, plus no weight
everywhere. And
there's no weight.
80 miles an hour or something. Like, it's ridiculous, but it was chaotic. It was hilarious to watch. Love bobsled.
They don't have brakes. They don't have brakes, do they? The only way they brake is when they hit the uphill, right?
No, I think they do. But I don't know how effective they are. I mean, because they're only meant for you to hit, after you cross the finish line when it's going up a little bit. I think it just steers the skates out a little bit like a wedge when you're skiing, right? I think that's all it does. Right. But when you're doing like 80 or whatever, I don't think they do anything.
That ain't working.
Oh. Yeah. It was chaotic. It was hilarious.
All right. Let's get to, before we get to some other stuff, I want to hit on the Bucs here, as Todd Monken will be arriving at One Buc Place probably right now as we speak to interview in person with Todd Bowles.
You think they'll let us carry that interview live on the show?
Perhaps not. Yes. Perhaps not. No.
Ask.
I don't think he's going to meet the media anytime soon, but he might. If you're the Buccaneers, you're not going to do much better than Todd Monken. If you're going to bring him in for a personal interview, you might as well make sure you put a contract in front of him and don't let him leave, because wherever John Harbaugh is going, I'm sure he's a candidate to coach there.
Sure.
If the reports are that Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, wanted Monken fired. There's a lot of stuff out there, reporting that I think was probably leaked, that Monken and Lamar weren't even talking to each other, although Monken says he had a good relationship with Lamar, said it could have been better, but he said he had a good relationship with him. But bottom line is the results have been great. I mean, he had the MVP season in 23, and then the next season, 41 and 44 touchdowns to interceptions. I mean, they had the number one offense. It's hard to find a better resume than Todd Monken's. Now, you can, say he had a lot of weapons. He had Lamar, blah, blah, blah. But listen, this is the NFL. Everybody's got great athletes. There's and he coached here for 3 years. He loves it here in Tampa Bay. He wants to be here, which, to a lot of people with this kind of lame duck situation with Todd, was something that we didn't maybe think we could get quality coordinators to even interview. So if Todd Monken wants to come here and wants to be here and wants to work with Baker, I say don't let him out of the building. Liam Cohen his ass, because I don't see where you're going to do better. I mean, there are other good candidates out there, I think. But I don't think you're going to find one better than Todd Monken, especially with him being evidently highly motivated to work here in Tampa Bay and looking forward to it. He's 60 years old, two-time national champion, calling plays at Georgia. Obviously, great success in the NFL with Lamar. As a head coach, took Southern Miss from no wins to a bowl game in, I think, a year or two. He's a very accomplished, highly intelligent, knows the game kind of guy. And at least from an age standpoint, would certainly mesh with Todd Bowles. Now, some of you don't see that as a good thing. In this case, I do. I like my coordinators well seasoned and with a nice resume. And Todd Monken certainly fits that bill. Sure, it's great to have the smart young guys in Josh Grizzard. And by the way, I don't think, of all the coaches that were fired, I don't necessarily think that was warranted. And when you look at the underperformance of other coaches and the staff in general, frankly. So whatever, scapegoat, whatever you want to call it, Todd Monken working with this group, with Baker Mayfield and these receivers, how would that be received with Mike Evans? I would think really, really well. He had some great years under Todd Monken. I think that's another reason you don't want to let him to leave the building, because if you're going to get Mike Evans back, I think Monken is a plus reason. And Godwin as well. They've worked well with Todd Monken. So there's a whole lot of good here. And if I were the Buccaneers, I would be announcing him as the offensive coordinator later today, if I could, and get some positive, things going. Get idiots like me to stop talking about, moving on from Todd Bowles, because evidently it ain't happening. John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, who appears more headed towards television, although I did see a report that he told somebody if he does come back to coaching, he wants it to be in warmer weather. Come on down. But also I put out, kind of a text a tweet last night. You guys interested in Mike Tomlin, Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson coming here? Just to get some engagement, get some talking going. It was a mixed bag, but a lot of people are like, no, we don't want that dinosaur here in Mike Tomlin. I think it's an upgrade on Todd Bowles. Is it, my number one choice? I don't know. I think Mike probably needs a year off to refresh after 19 years in Pittsburgh. But maybe that's the plan. Maybe it's one more year of Bowles and here comes Mike Tomlin. I don't know. I don't think that would be universally well received in Tampa as I thought it would, quite frankly. I don't know who you want to compare Mike Tomlin to, but he's got a pretty good resume. And I know
JP,
that
there is someone
has not been good.
There is someone who we know is interested in Mike Tomlin.
Who's that?
As I may have a brand new favorite owner in the NFL, and that is Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti. Did you see the press conference yesterday as he was talking to the media, and the news came down that Tomlin had stepped down in the middle of his press conference? Have you seen this?
Yes, I have. Go ahead. You can play it. Yeah.
Where are my things wrong? Okay, here we go. This is the greatest thing
Tomlin got terminated or stepped down.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Mike Tomlin stepped down at Pittsburgh.
He did? Is it official?
That's what I keep hearing. So, is he a candidate here?
Holy shit, Mike. Wouldn't that be awesome? Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job. Wow.
I mean,
wouldn't that be interesting? I don't know that thing last week maybe disqualified him for my opening after our kicker missed a kick to let them advance. Good
To
for
let
Mike.
them advance.
But yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. But in the middle of his
then went on
press
to say
conference,
he has a lot of respect for Mike and, has admired him from afar. Can you imagine, though? That'd be like
funny would that be?
Spurrier coming to Tallahassee and Bowden going to Gainesville.
yeah,
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
that's incredible.
Yeah. Listen, where we're at in the NFL right now with these guys getting fired. It's interesting because the NFL, which, by the way, college football will look more like this as we go further into the NIL era and transfer portal era. It's going to be more week to week and year to year. These long sustained runs by, blue bloods in college football, Alabama, Florida State back in the day. Those things are of the past. And you're going to get a lot more parity in college football. And in the NFL, it's so set up to damage the good teams. It's hard to stay good for a long time. The NFL sets it up to cycle it through. That's why they're so successful. They engage all 32 markets every year for the most part. Guys think that there's hope that half the playoff teams change every year. And I think that's a great business model, quite frankly. But, the idea that there are eternal coaches is kind of over too. And I think Harbaugh and Tomlin will probably be the last of a breed. I don't know if you're going to see guys last 18, 17 years in this 19 years in the same seat.
Yeah,
There's too much immediate gratification want by the fans. And with social media, and the owners, and so with social media, things get so toxic so fast, and you could just, and you don't need to look anywhere else, but right here in Tampa Bay. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Todd Bowles' record is exemplary. It's not. It's 500. It's mid. But that being said, Mike Tomlin's is not. And he, you can say he stepped down. We all know the fans were chanting, fire Mike Tomlin. Not that they do the firing. Would the Rooneys have fired him?
and they've been saying that for years, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the way I think this went down is I believe the Rooneys approached Tomlin and said, we want to make a change. And I think Tomlin has such respect for the Rooneys and the organization and himself. He said, you know what? I'll just step down. That saves them from having to fire him. It saves that mark on the organization, and everybody wins, right? I kind of feel that's how it went down. And by the way, if I told you at the beginning of the season there would be one AFC North coach that survived his job after the year, would you have picked Zach Taylor from the Bengals?
No.
How crazy is that?
That's a great thought. Yeah. Wow. How about that?
That's insane.
It's crazy. The NFL is just bizarre right now. And everybody wants the new shiny toy. I get that. Sometimes it is better. You know, Mike Vrabel, Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson. Sometimes it's better. And that's the problem. When you have guys come in and do immediate turnarounds, now every owner is like, why can't you do that? Well, I'm going to go get somebody new. I'm going to go get the high coordinator. And as we all know, 80% of the time it doesn't work out. Maybe 90. This year happened to be 3 guys hit. So 3 guys hit? That means 9 guys get fired. Right?
And by the
Including
way,
some really established ones.
yeah, those don't always work out. Let's keep that in mind too. That's a huge risk. Because remember
90%
the
of the
name
time it
Bobby
doesn't.
Slowick
Yes. All of
in
them.
Houston a couple of years ago that everybody said, oh, he's the next guy. And he was getting head coaching looks.
Yep.
After 1 year as an OC.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sucked the next year and everybody forgot who he was. And now he's buried in the Dolphins coaching directory as a passing game coordinator.
Yeah.
So
no, it's 80 to 90% miss rate on young, young hotshot coaches. So, but do you want to, as an owner, do you just want to sit there and kind of choke on the same stuff every single year. I mean, even for the Steelers, I think that was hard, certainly for their fan base.
Sure.
I don't think any fan base wants it. And then there's the problem of being mid, which is where the Bucs are. You know, you almost want to suck really bad to get the high draft picks, because it's not just the first round. It's every round. You get a tremendous advantage in acquiring talent. And you get a softer schedule. These are big, big deals. You know, the Patriots turned a softer schedule into a number one seed or a playoff berth. Sorry.
Yeah.
So look, it's just that's how this league works. So for the Bucs, you know, where are we picking? 15. Where did we pick last year? What, 19? 23, 20. Tough to get Pro Bowlers. You know, when we had the 7th overall pick, we got Mike Evans. We didn't miss on that one. Yeah. But when you have these high picks, you can't miss. And we just have not been able to reload with top quality talent. Now, let's be honest, there have been some edge rushers on the board that we passed on for tight ends and wide receivers, and you know that we have to own that. And this defense is devoid of any great talent in terms of edge rushers. You know, Charlie Strong will be in here later on, and we'll talk about that in terms of some of the guys that they have. You know, from their ability standpoint, are they playing out of position? You know, we heard Rondé, you know, talk about this on his show, that the defense is so complex, too complex for his liking, and they just have not had elite coaching in terms of the secondary, especially. So listen, and Rashad White came out yesterday on the Loose Cannons podcast and said, hey, which is a must listen to, really good interview they did on Loose Cannons. Well done, guys. That he thinks Bowles should be a walk-around guy and leave the defense to his staff. Now, I would say, you know, he shouldn't be calling the defensive plays anymore, but I'm not necessarily going to the, you know, he should be the walk-around coach. I just don't get that. That concept for Todd just doesn't fit. He's a coordinator. He's your head coach. I mean, he's your DC, which, you know, by the way, is a very, very difficult thing to do. To be a defensive coordinator and manage a game, really difficult to do. We'll get Charlie's thoughts on that as well. So, look, we're seeing a lot of coaches, players, Hall of Famers come out and say this defense is antiquated, the scheme doesn't work, but yet here we are going to do it again. That makes no sense to me. We've got a huge sample size right now that shows that this defense is rapidly deteriorating. Now, can it be better? You know, if you go get a Max Crosby, does Max Crosby want to play here in this scheme? I would doubt it. If I were him, I wouldn't want to. You're going to have me dropping into coverage 20% of the time? No, thanks. I'll go somewhere where they want me to rush the passer. So we're going to stay with this scheme. Oh, well. We don't need to get back into that. We've done that. We've done a lot of that this week. So, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and get to your comments, kids. Appreciate you guys already filling up the comment section. If you would like to comment on any of the stuff we just talked about or bring something new to the table, you can always do that on Twitter. Go to the X Machine. Go to the JP Peterson Show. You can do it there. FanStream Sports Tampa Bay and FanStream Sports on YouTube. You can do it there at Facebook, JP Peterson. You can make comments there, and we will read as many as we can get to. All right, we're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. They've got great deals going on right now over there, 801 East Bears Avenue. Giving away a gas card this month, $25 or $2,500 gas card, gas for a year. And you can get your entries 10X'd by coming in and doing a test drive at Genesis of Tampa. It's free. And also making great deals on brand new cars, gently used cars. But the best news is Genesis is, to me, the best value in the luxury car space and luxury SUV space. They are fabulous, gorgeous cars, and the price will be shocking to you compared to others. So go see them over at Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears. Back in 3. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Hey, kick off the new year by impressing her with a real diamond, a natural diamond, from Golden Diamond Source. Don't start with a fake diamond, guys. That's a really, really bad idea. And if you're ready to pop the question, find the perfect engagement ring at the Golden Diamond Source, just like I did, just like Nick did. It is the best selection, the best staff, the best everything. And discover the new Emily collection by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts absolutely extraordinary. And by the way, gold prices have never been higher, so turn that old unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. Just take it on down to the Golden Diamond Source and trade it in. Lots to get done at the Golden Diamond Source this new year. Start with an engagement ring from the greatest, the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Almaton Road, always online at the Golden Diamond Source.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Uh-oh.
I'm back.
There he is.
Yeah, hello. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this hump day, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. Another big crowd last night to watch the Lightning game. We're better than Rivers, especially when the weather is nice. They have the indoor-outdoor thing going there, so you go outdoor with the big screens at that great bar out there, have a hazy IPA and watch the Lightning, have some of those chicken wings. Woo, Lordy. Rivers is the place to be. By the way, they're opening up a new one in St. Pete, downtown St. Pete. Yeah. We've had a request for Fish Hawk. So I'll be headed over there for lunch today with Big O and Charlie. So we'll go have some wings today. Timmy, we'll send you some pictures.
Man, I need some of those wings and I need some of that buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, so good. I might go with the prime rib sliders though. Prime rib sandwich. That could be a winner today. Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely killing me here.
Choose from on that great menu. Absolutely fantastic. And everything is made fresh. None of this pre-frozen stuff, the chicken fingers that you get at every sports bar because they come from the same vendor. Cisco. No, hand cut them, bread them. That's why they taste so much better. Everything's better. Riveters, staff's better, prices are better, atmosphere's better. Great place to watch any of your sports. Riveters, Tampa, just north of 275, just south of where the Rays will be playing in a few years.
Yeah,
that's tomorrow. Right. I said it. By the way, if you missed our Big O show that we did yesterday, go check that out if you're a Rays fan and you were dying for lots of Rays talk. We did an hour on stadium, roster, owners, all that stuff. So really, really, really good stuff. Rays fans, go check that out. And we'll be doing much more baseball.
Not even just Rays fans, JP, baseball fans.
Baseball fans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who are, fans of the show, and when Big O comes on, I think he's one of the best baseball talkers there is. Obviously he worked for years and years at ESPN, Baseball Tonight, 12 years with the Rays. He's just as good as it gets. Knowledge, communicative, fun, so good at what he does. So check it out. All right, to the comments we go. JS813 says, good morning, JP, Senor Ramon, and all the Petermans. I love your when you say hello. Who's got it better than your Tampa Bay Lightning? You could say they're electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. They are electric. And
my Stars aren't because they're in a funk right now.
It's fun to watch. Are the Stars in a funk?
Yeah. They're not doing well, JP.
What's going on?
Ready to ride off hockey in Dallas.
Rick says Lightning are impressive back-to-back and still had energy all night. Thank God for Vasi. Yeah, that was impressive. Back-to-back and play that kind of high energy, smash-in-the-face game. We will have Erik Erlendsson here joining us at 11 o'clock, so we'll talk more Lightning then. So
my Stars have lost 8 of 10.
Tampa guy says credible win for the last 8 of 10. Wow.
Yeah, including 6 in a row.
Rick says Steelers probably in rebuild mode. Time to raid the pantry. Yeah, they got an old defense. They're spending a lot of money there.
Well, they're going to be looking for a quarterback, right? I mean, everybody assumes that.
They got to get a quarterback.
Kenny Pickett might be available via trade from the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't think Sam Darnold's leaving Seattle. Do we talk enough about how stupid the Vikings were?
Do we talk enough about how stupid the Panthers were back in the day?
Oh, wow.
They had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield on their quarterback staff.
Yeah. And was that before they got Bryce Young? That's before they got Bryce Young, right?
Yeah.
And they gave away the store to get Bryce Young. That was one of the worst deals ever.
I think that will come down to one of the worst. Yeah, for sure.
They gave him a 5th year. He's getting better. There's no doubt about it. He'll never be a game changer,
no,
in my opinion. All right, this one from Aviation said, would like to see Ray J get a sports complex around it, would get fans to stay both pre and post game. Well, the scuttlebutt is that the Glazers want to do a mixed use as well in their renovation. So what is that going to look like? They're doing that at Old Trafford at Man United as well. So a lot of building going on. Like the amount of cranes in Tampa, bro, insane.
You own a crane company or a crane leasing company, you're making some money right now.
We were joking about this yesterday. Me and Noah was like, dude, we got to get a concrete company. We got the new Rays complex that's going to be coming in. That's $5 billion, 110 acres of office buildings, stadiums, retail. I mean, Holy shizbang. And then we got down at Water Street, they're doing another couple billion down there, downtown. They've just cleared out a big stretch there. They're going to build a 3,500 seat amphitheater or some type of venue down there. Then you got Mosey out by USF, which is going to be another $2 billion mixed use project there. A big indoor sports facility that they're building within Mosey. Out by the Claw, their old golf course, is another mixed-use billion-dollar thing going on there. I mean, and there's still a bunch of big buildings, skyscrapers going up downtown. Oh, Jesus Christ. Develop much? Let's hope the market doesn't go belly up. Because if there's one thing that could derail all this race stuff, that's it.
Yeah, Aviation had a good comment. Tim, we know how much Texas Live has transformed. Both the Cowboys and the Rangers need something like that in Tampa. He's not wrong, man. Not just the Cowboys and the Rangers, but that whole brand new entertainment district down here in Arlington, that a toilet previously is now transformed into this freaking destination, right? For tourists, for locals, and it'll do the same thing down there in that area of Tampa. And it's just, even if you don't go to the games, you go down there to watch the games.
Yeah.
Like it's just an amazing hangout spot.
Well, and imagine, for tourists that are flying in Tampa, look out the window like, oh, look at that. 2 big stadiums and a big, open air entertainment district around it. What's the first place you're going to go? If you're on a layover, you got some extra time. What are you going to do? It's right there. You're going to probably hop into a little train, a little light rail, zip on over there. Hell to the yes. Aviation said Rashad spoke in an interview yesterday and said in his last statement to Bucs fans were that the players see it when opposing fans take over Ray J. That's right. They do. And this was on the Loose Cannons podcast, by the way. I always want to mention the podcast that we're going to talk about here. Give them great credit for getting and doing a great interview. He said, and we've mentioned this many, many times. Of course the players see it. And it's going to get worse next year. I've got news for you when the Steelers come to town, when the Packers come to town. You're lucky you got two. I think you got 2 LA teams coming here that don't travel.
Yeah.
But anybody who travels, Saints fans, Saints might be good next year. Tyler Shook, they make a few moves. You never know. The Falcons make a big splash in who they hire and they've got some good players. There's no question that the other teams in the South have caught up to the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers have gone back to them, I think, more than any great shakes that they've done, right? So, yeah, that sucks. But listen, if you keep Todd Bowles, then that's on you as an organization. Sorry. That's just the truth. Nathan Stout says, looking at wild card quarterback winners, May, 1 interception, 2 fumbles. Caleb, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Purdy, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. CJ, 1 interception, 5 fumbles. If Baker had those stats, the Bucs get destroyed. Baker has to play perfect with Bowles' defense. It's an awesome point. That is an awesome. I'm going to put it up again while we talk about it. It's an awesome point. Every time Baker threw an interception, we lost. Every single time.
Which was a lot.
It's second half of the season. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But you also, when your defense sucks, what are you doing? You got to push the ball downfield. You got to take chances. You have to win games. Those games we won, he was taking those same chances, but they didn't get picked. And the difference is sometimes a millimeter. So, yeah, you got to play complementary football. When your offense screws up, you got to have a defense that picks you up. We didn't have that. And when the offense got up 2 scores, what did our defense do? Step on their neck? No. Rush 4, cover 2. Right down the field every single time. Go conservative. You got to be perfect. I agree. Great point. Mark Davis says, hey, JP, do you have the list of the prominent Tampa businesses who are involved with the News Rays ownership group? Yes, it was made public. Timmy, if you can Google that. I have it somewhere in my pictures, I think. I might have to send it to you, but we'll get it to you before the day is out. Is there a point to that, Mark, by the way? We had Mike Murphy in here the other day, who runs Kingmakers here in the Murphy Auto Group. He's one of the limited partners, and he's not, at will to speak of a lot of the details that are going on right now. But he did kind of give us an overview on, their meetings with ownership. The entire group came together, and it's just like so many prominent Tampa Bay business folks, like a who's who, and they're charged up to get it done.
I'm seeing, obviously, Zalupski and Cosgrove, Dr. Rick Workman, Doug Hertz, Will Weatherford, Robert Skinner, Dan Doyle Jr., Matt Silverman,
so
and
Weatherford,
Fred Ridley.
Skinner, all those guys are Tampa Bay guys.
That's all I'm showing here.
Yeah, there's a big list.
Yeah.
I'll find it. I have it. I think I have it in my pictures. I think I did a screenshot of it. Nathan Ellis says there are 6 JP Peterson Show peeps watching. There actually are over 500 right now.
Or more than that,
yeah. Bolts 11 in a row. They are on fire. You are so correct, Sergio. We are getting ready for curling. Cannot wait for the curling in the Olympics.
Love curling, yes.
Yeah.
Curling and hockey, my 2 big Winter Olympic sports. By the way, JP, I'm seeing breaking news.
Uh-oh.
If you call this breaking, as we prepare for the World Baseball Classic, Griffin Jacks has been named to the U.S. squad.
Oh, Rays pitcher.
Rays pitcher, yeah. So a little local flavor there for you.
Yeah. Did not have a great year, but we're counting on him to bounce back.
He'll of course come out of the bullpen, obviously.
Yeah. That's cool. Looking forward to that. When does that start? March?
Let's see. Ask me all these questions, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, JS813 says success starts from the top down. The Bolts have great ownership. The Rays and Bucs do not.
March 6th.
March 6th. Okay, thank you. Listen, I think obviously we've had issues with the Rays, and you're absolutely right. And that's why we couldn't get a stadium. We couldn't win a World Series, et cetera, et cetera. The Bucs have won Super Bowls. They won 2 under the Glazers, this current ownership group. I would not say that is terrible ownership. I would push back on that. I would also say they're wrong to keep Todd Bowles. And I also said they were wrong last year to let Liam Cohen leave and keep Todd Bowles. So I think they have a blind spot with Todd Bowles. No question about it. Doesn't mean they're terrible owners. I will disagree with that. But I see your point. Has never had a chance said, if you don't think the Bucs have a great ownership, you are mistaken. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Tampa fan 86 says, good morning. Former HCC employee with lots of friends that work there telling me that the board of trustees vote is as good as done in favor of the Rays. Of course.
Sure. I would
think the board of trustees of the HCC is going to keep this wonderful, incredible thing from happening. You're out of your mind. As we reported a couple of weeks ago, that the employees were being told that the parcel is going to be sold and there's a vote up. So, yeah, we broke that story a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much. Is Monken better than McDaniel for OC?
Yes.
I agree. Younger doesn't necessarily mean better.
Yeah, that's not a knock on McDaniel. Monken's got a ton more experience with different players, different systems.
62-year-old chest. Younger does not always mean better.
The Young Bucks world.
Yeah. Listen, does this coaching staff need an injection of some good young energy? 100%. Doesn't necessarily have to be at the coordinator position. You can have underlings that are fiery and bring some, juice.
Sure.
That's what Tony had. Tony Dungy. A lot of those guys, including Mike Tomlin, Raheem Morris, Herm Edwards, Rod Marinelli, Monty Kiffin. They weren't necessarily really young, but they brought energy. Definitely did. Harbaugh visiting the Giants today. Where do you think he lands?
I still think the Raiders are the favorite in my clubhouse.
Really? Why? Brady?
It's an amazing situation for him. You have the number 1 overall pick. Right now you have Max Crosby. You have Ashton Genty. You can go get a quarterback.
You make it sound so easy. You can go get a quarterback. Really? Who
Well,
you
if
got?
you know what you're doing, which I think he does. I just
you think Harbaugh and Brady can figure it out?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care that Tom Brady is there. I don't put any stock in Tom Brady as an owner or a decision maker. That's not what he is. I mean, he is, but he has yet to prove to anybody that he's good at it, right?
Right.
He could turn out to be John Elway for all we know.
Right.
So, or
John Elway or is he John Lynch?
Or it could turn out to be John Lynch. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. We don't know yet until we have an indication that he's leaning toward John Lynch. I don't put him into the equation. I don't care about any of that.
Bantry says, with all that Monken had to work with in Baltimore, his track record isn't that impressive.
What did he have to work with?
Lamar Jackson.
Bantry. Okay. Well,
Derrick
what do you
Henry?
think about Lamar Jackson?
Well, he also had the number one offense with Derrick Henry and Lamar, did he not?
And who was running that offense?
Yeah.
Todd Monken.
Right.
Not John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh did not tell Todd Monken to run the ball 4 times in the AFC Championship game at home 2 years ago in the loss to the Chiefs.
That was curious.
That was
Very
Todd
curious.
Monken. That was not John
Very
Harbaugh.
curious. Well, listen, if we're firing guys on one bad game, why is Bowles there?
Boom.
we don't have just one. We got a few. Never had a chance. 05 says Dinosaur. Monken is pushing 60. He actually is 60. Needs someone innovative with lots of young energy. You ageist. You're an ageist.
Never had a bit to that. I'm a guy who turns 55 in 2 months, 3 months.
I don't know, but if it's a coordinator position, I think experience is a good thing.
I do too.
I mean, if you're good young hotshot, Josh Grizzard, that was your guy.
I think Todd
He's
Monken
not a dinosaur. He's young. He's innovative. He's got energy, young mind.
Todd Monken has enough stops along the way in college and pro, I think, to warrant taking his experience into consideration.
And listen, age it's just a number, babe. Just a number, baby.
For some
my man R. Kelly, quote my man R. Kelly, age is just a number.
I don't know if you should be quoting anything from R. Kelly.
When you sing about your felonies, I don't know. When the lyrics of your song point out that you're guilty of a felony, I'd say that's a bad strategy.
Probably.
I don't want to go down the R. Kelly, but I'm just saying that might not be. That's a little arrogant. It's just to tell the authorities in your lyrics what you're doing. I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm not your attorney, but
you're crazy.
I would advise against that.
But isn't that what rapists do? Isn't that part of the culture?
I'll take a rapist for $1,000. That's therapist. Whatever, Trebek. The rapist for $200. Rapist for $1,000.
That's therapist.
Not what your mother said, Trebek. Oh my God.
I'll take anal bum cover for $500. That's an album cover.
That's what your mother said, Trebek. There's nothing funnier. Oh my God.
Doesn't even know.
Never had a chance that literally everyone is money hungry in a capitalistic society. Not everyone. That's untrue. Here we go with Bantry says, the problem I see with Bowles is that Foote, Edwards, and Caldwell were kept. Who on Bowles' staff is an actual teacher? No one, in my opinion. I mean, that's the whole thing. You know, you fired Charlie Strong, who will be in here in a little bit. But you kept
developing these young guys.
You kept everybody else, and that's supposed to make a difference. It's laughable. It's laughable.
Insane. Yeah, they have nobody to develop.
Yeah. All right, so we're having there's a little tiff in here about the Glazers. I think we've settled that. Rick says Tomlin's going to sit out a year and then go to Philly. Yeah, Philly, like Tomlin would be a good fit in Philly, I would think. Mm-hmm. I definitely think they would. Here's an interesting question from Pete Schultz. Good morning to you. I haven't seen you in here. Welcome. Monken will have a stipulation. Mr. Bowles has no say in my offense. Absolutely. If I'm Todd Monken and I got options, and he does, and he'll have options, when I sit down with Todd, there's got to be some boundaries here. I don't need you coming into me week 16 or 15 at Carolina and saying we got to run the ball 30 times. That's it. Not doing that. Not doing that. Will that be okay for Todd Bowles, who is stubborn and wants his way? Nathan Elliott says the competitive cycles of the NFL will match the coaching cycles of the NFL. Sean Payton will be the example. He left the Aints, reinvigorated the Broncos. He will stay until he sees a decline. I think,
as long as he wants. Yeah.
I think Sean Payton was a bit of a, that was a bit of a departure. Long-time successful coach in New Orleans. Could have stayed as long as he wanted, won a Super Bowl there. But unlike Harbaugh, he said, you know what? I feel like it's going down. It's going the wrong way. So we're going to, I'm going to take a year off and then go find a situation that I like.
I mean, he got tired of living in New Orleans. That's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
like we all have.
Like you can vouch for that. Sean, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Who wouldn't? I mean,
after Tom Benson died, that organization had zero leadership and zero direction, and he just wanted out. It was stale. He was stale. The organization was stale. There was no direction, and he didn't want to be tied to that boat as it sunk.
Smart.
Yeah.
And maybe
that's
call it.
Yeah.
And maybe Tomlin sees that in Pittsburgh. Maybe, we could look at the Tomlin situation and say, is it Tomlin or is it the organization? Have they done a good job finding him a quarterback? Hell no. Is that on the organization? Is it on Tomlin? In Harbaugh, did Harbaugh just finally say, because I think he probably maybe if he wanted to stay there, I think he could have orchestrated to stay, but when you have, there were reports that it was Lamar went to Bisciotti and said, hey, listen, I need a new coach, need a new coaching staff. This is stale. And when you have a MVP quarterback, they're harder to find than coaches. And that, maybe that's the way it went down. Who knows?
Yep.
One more here. John O'Leary says, great interview from your car with Miller and Moulton yesterday, JP. They are great interviewers. My new favorite sports guy, you, with my longtime favorites. Well, thank you, John O'Leary. Yeah. It's very nice of you. I really appreciate that. And these our audience has grown exponentially over the last year or so, Timmy.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how satisfying it is to walk around the Benchmark International Arena or any of these places that I go, and people come up to me and they say they love the show and love you and Timmy. You have great, love the O show, and it's great. And they say you have great guests like Erik Erlendsson who come on. Yes. Segue. Let's welcome in our Lightning insider, the great Erik Erlendsson, joining us here. Did you see that professional segue there?
Yeah. But by the way, whoever sent that comment in, flattery will get you everywhere.
That's right. You want your comment read on air? Tell me how good I am. They don't even need a super chat. Just stroke the ego, man. We know this one. I'm man enough to admit that. I'm man enough to admit. If you say something nice, I'm going to put it on the air. How are you, partner?
Because we don't get those very often in this business, do we? Take it when we can get them.
There's so much toxic shit out there that when somebody finally said something nice, damn it, we're going to let you know about it. How are we, partner?
I'm good.
How's it coaching? How's it covering a team that's won 11 in a row? Better than the opposite?
Always better than the opposite. There's no doubt about it. And it's been kind of, it's hard to believe this team started with 2 wins in 7 games.
Right.
And it's just hard to kind of think back. It's also hard to think that right before this 11-game winning streak, they were I think 2-5-1.
Yeah.
Right. Coming off a 7-game winning streak. I mean, it was a roller coaster that was going on a little bit. And, they found themselves here a little bit, and they've, played good defensive hockey. They're getting really good goaltending no matter who's in net. Nikita Kucherov has come alive. Like, there's just a lot of things to like about the way this team has performed, especially with all the injuries that they've had. And, you look at their defensive core and you go, who are these guys sometimes, right? There are probably people who don't watch this team closely and go, who's playing on the third pair? Who's on the second pair? So it's really a testament to the coaching staff and the leaders in that locker room and everything else to kind of get this ship pointed north in a season. And I can't believe this. Every team but the Rangers right now in the Eastern Conference is above NHL 500. It's crazy that we're already past the midway point of the season, and you've got every team in the East except for one above NHL 500.
Are they beating up on the West? Like, what is that? It? How's that work?
Well, they're kind of beating up on each other.
Yeah, I guess
that's what it is. I mean, you look every night, and Buffalo just went on a long winning streak, and they had a long losing streak this year. Like, Montreal had a great start, and then they dipped in the middle, and then they recovered. Like, a lot of teams are that way in the East. And what's surprising about the Rangers, the team at the bottom, is they can't win at home. They've only won 5 games at home ice, and they can't score, or else they would be in the middle of this conversation because their road record is the second best in the East behind the Lightning. So it's really crazy what's going on in the Eastern Conference this year. And look, there is a gap in the West. You have your Dallas and Minnesota and Colorado, and Vegas has kind of gotten hot here again a little bit, and Edmonton's gotten hot, and then everybody else is like, eh. So yeah, I think some of it is the East beating up on the West too.
All right, let's talk a little bit about last night's game. I thought it was wildly entertaining for a 0-0 game for 55 minutes. It was wildly entertaining. But one of the things I liked about it is the fact that, this team continues to play such solid hockey. There's no risk in their game, very little risk in their game. And I was speaking with somebody inside the organization earlier this week, and after that rough start, it was funny. They were kind of asking themselves, man, did we get old and slow overnight? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
And it just turned out to be that, to what Cooper has said quite publicly, too much risk in your game, just too much risk and bad turnovers and bad puck management. And when some of the older guys went out for injury, the younger guys came in and they said, we're just going to keep it simple, keep it super, super simple. And that's what this team is so good at, right, Eric? When they're playing simple hockey and just kind of waiting for the other team to make the mistake and then pounce on it as a counterattacking team, that defense first, their offensive skill will eventually show. And there was a rough part early on where they weren't getting bounces and guys were missing wide open nets, and that's not going to happen forever. So once that all kind of corrected itself, this is what you get. And this is a damn hard hockey team to beat right now.
Yeah, that's like, you look at last night's game, like the first 10 games of this winning streak, they scored at least 4 goals in every game. Right. Because they were taking care of the puck and they have the game breakers, and, they were breaking games open. I mean, the series against Philly over the weekend, it was a 2-1 game after the first period, 3-1 after the second, ends up 7-2, right? They find a way to break it open. And then last night's game, where they didn't have the same sort of offensive juice, right? Pucks were missing the net. Pucks were going high. A couple crossbars were hit. Like, it just wasn't happening for them. But you give yourself a chance in a game like that because you defend, right? And they kept Pittsburgh's power play quiet, which is not easy. It's one of the top power plays in the league, although they were missing Erik Erlendsson last night.
Yeah.
But when you defend and you have the mentality, and that's the one thing about this team this year, however the game sort of dictates itself within the game, they can adapt.
Yeah.
Right. So they can defend if they're not getting the offense. They don't want to open it up, right? They want to make sure that it's a keep it safe and simple type of approach to the game. But if it opens up, they can open up. They have the players to do that. If that sort of starts to develop a little bit, and they can go to toe, so that's what you really take out of last night's game. And the irony is, like, I think they were credited with 18 giveaways last night, right? Like, they did not protect the puck as well as they have, but that's also part of the areas in which you're giving the puck away, right? They're not doing it at the blue line.
Right.
That's the
Leading
dangerous
to odd man
area.
rushes. Right.
Like Chief says all the time, it's the 3 feet inside and outside the blue line are the most dangerous areas of the ice. There were a few last night, but not as many, but there were a few where they try to go across the top of the zone, and that's where you really get yourself in trouble. And I think Pittsburgh picked off a couple of those, and they had a couple of odd man rushes, but that's where Andre Vasilevsky comes into the conversation. So that's what you have to really like about what's going on right now with this team, is that they will defend. And if you have to get tied up in a game that's going to finish 1-0, 2-1, they can adapt to it, and they can play in those kind of games. And, even without Hedman, even without Ryan McDonough, Emil Lilleberg is out. Eric Chernak has missed a good portion of the year as well with the injury that he had to his hand. So it's impressive to watch, and really one of the best coaching jobs that John Cooper has done in his tenure here with Tampa Bay. I don't think there's any question about that.
Maybe he wins a Jack Adams. Go ahead, Timmy.
It will never happen. We were convinced of that. Not that he doesn't deserve it. We just know it'll never happen. I don't know, Eric, that anybody saw this from Darren Radish this season. He continues to be just an example on the ice, on defense. He led the team last night in minutes on the ice, in ice time last night. What is this, John Cooper getting this out of him, or is this just something out of Radish that maybe we just haven't seen before, that's just there?
I think it's more so the latter, because even at the start of the year, Darren Radish was kind of the odd man out on the back end, right? He had a couple of costly turnovers. He was the guy not taking care of the puck. And that led to some late game-winning goals against, specifically the Ottawa game, right? The second, I think it was the opener against Ottawa. I think he did the same thing against Jersey in that game. They lost against Jersey late as well. But when the injuries happened, and we saw this a little bit from Darren last year as well, when the injuries occurred and regular playing time opened up for him, he seized it. And you almost get the sense, and I don't think anybody saw what was coming this year, but you just get the sense that he's a guy that he needs to have somebody have confidence in him so that he can have confidence in himself. And then when he gets the opportunity and he plays regularly, like he knows now, especially right now, if he makes a mistake, and he hasn't made many, but if he makes a mistake, he's going right back out there. Right. So he kind of has that self-belief in himself. The offensive numbers, I think, are just a byproduct of who Darren Radish is. He's always been that type of player. I think he's worked on the accuracy of his shot. It's always been a heavy shot. Right. And he by far leads the league this year in shots that are registered between 90 and 100 miles an hour. Like he's not even, there's nobody in his category with those number of heavy shots that he has.
Yeah.
But like you even look at a game like last night, how many really good defensive plays did Darren Radish make? He had a couple of really good breakups with the stick that prevented passes from going to dangerous areas. He's doing a much better job of protecting the middle part of the ice, which, I mean, that's what's kind of held Darren Radish back his entire career, was his play in his own end. The offense was always there, going back to his junior days. But it's the way that he's improved defensively, and I think that's a byproduct. The coaches help, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Rob Zettler, it handles the defense, and, they give him the confidence now to go out there, and he's been a great partner with J.J. Moser. But I think he's just learned and developed and matured, right? It's just some guys just take longer to mature as players, and he's almost 30 years old now, right? So he's not a young player anymore. He wasn't young when he came into the league the first time. So I think a lot of credit goes to Darren in just his approach, and then the coaching staff continuing to give him the confidence that he needs to succeed, and he's taken an opportunity and run with it.
Erik Erlendsson joining us here. LightningInsider.com is his website. Been covering the Bolts for over 20 years. What's the total number?
Oh, it's 25-ish, 26-ish.
25-ish?
I lost track.
Wow.
I lost track. Yeah, I'm watching all these. I'm watching all these guys get their 1,000-game ceremonies, and like, man, I was here well before them.
How many games have we done?
Oh, I know. It would be hard to keep track of, that's for sure. But it's a lot.
A lot more than 1,000. I think so, for sure. No doubt.
yeah.
Man, we need to get you a plaque of some type. Please. A participation trophy, please. Let's talk a little bit about Vasi and kind of this has been a bit of a different year for him. Some mysterious injuries to start, probably back related. I don't know. But whatever it is, Johansson's taken a bigger load. It's helped him tremendously. Last night, he was fantastic. How is this new iteration working with these two goalies? I think it's the best we've seen probably since the Cups. And I think it was something that was needed. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think, with the back surgery that Vasi had a couple years ago, he's had to, I don't want to say reestablish or reinvent himself, but he's kind of had to adapt to, and he's not been shy about saying it, about, the way his body reacts now. He has to adapt to that. And so you're not seeing some of the acrobatic type saves that he's capable of making. So he has adjusted and adapted, and you look at the numbers. I mean, they're not jumping off as they usually do, but they're really good. And especially you look at compared to the rest of the league, he's really good in his numbers. And he comes up with games like last night. Right? Overtime, he was unbelievable in overtime.
So good.
Pittsburgh had numerous chance after numerous chance, and he was there to stop it. So he still is capable of that. He still has that, as much as his body's kind of changed in the way he adapted, he still has those long legs. He can still send them out and cover so much area of the ice down low, and he's tough to beat down there. He still moves side to side as well as anybody in the league. I don't think he's quite as quick as he was earlier in his career from post to post, but he still can cover post to post. And he's just redeveloping his game to adjust to his age. What is he, 30, 31 years old now?
31, yeah. I think.
And look, that's not old for a goaltender. Right? You look at Marc-Andre Fleury, played into his 40s, and James Reimer just signed a contract again, and he's close to 40 years old. So he's been great. He's been great. And I think Johansson, too, as much flack as he has received from outside, especially from fans a lot, he has been great this year. His numbers are not going to match what Vasilevsky's are, because he gets the tougher assignments when he gets in there, usually the second half of the back-to-back. But, I think to the game earlier this year in Washington where Johansson was spectacular. I mean, he was facing high danger shot after high danger shot and kept the Lightning in that game and gave him a chance, when they broke down, and you need that. And so he's been great. He's been a great partner. I think and it's not easy for backup goaltenders in Johansson's situation, knowing that you're only playing once every 8, 9, 10 days. I think he's adapted to that, and that's a skill for a backup goaltender. And there's a lot more trust in what the team believes he's capable of doing. And they've been a great partnership this year. There's no doubt about it. And I can't think really of any game this year where you say, boy, the goaltending let them down. The goaltending has been very solid all year long. And, it shows in the results.
Erik Erlendsson joining us here, lightninginsider.com. What do you think is going on with Pointer? It seemed like John Cooper told Dave Randolph yesterday we avoided, the major injury, basically. And then Pierre LeBrun put out something that was maybe a little bit more dire. So you never know, where information is coming from. What are your thoughts on what's up with Pointer? And can the Lightning withstand no Pointer until the playoffs? I think we can, but I think to go deep into the playoffs, kind of need him. Is that fair to say? Well,
yeah, you just 50-goal scorer. He was really starting to play well after a slow start to his season. He's already missed some time due to injury on the year. I like sometimes you read into, like I saw the full quote on what Cooper said yesterday before the game, and I don't get the sense like he hasn't even been ruled out for the Olympics yet, right? Like Cooper said, hopefully within a few weeks he's ready to go. So, which has to be best case scenario under the circumstances, right? That has to be positive news under what we all feared it could have been watching him. But, it was encouraging really if the moment it happened, yes, he threw the gloves off, he grabbed his knee. He knew something didn't feel right. But when you watch, like you go back and watch that video of the injury, he actually got up to his knees and he used his right knee to brace himself up, right?
Right.
And then he kind of pointed when Tommy Mulligan came out and talked to him. And then it doesn't look good for sure when he, has to put his arms over a couple of guys and doesn't put any weight on it. So that's where we're thinking the worst. But, he did put some weight on it as he went into the medical room. Ed Encina, was up there in Philadelphia when it happened the other night, did see Braden walking around. Noticeable brace on the knee, but he was walking around. He wasn't.
That's a great sign.
In something like that. So, and then you try and read between the lines of coach speak sometimes. And at the end of the day, I don't want to play amateur doctor here, but based on what I've seen throughout my career, it's probably a strain to the MCL, right? Because of the area of the knee that he kind of bent a little bit. And if that's the case, it might only be a few weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
I sprained my MCL just watching that hit.
We all did.
So I don't get the sense that this is, and like Cooper even said it, you feared season ending. He said it's not anywhere near close to this. So, you just try and read in between that, but they're going to have to be, at least in the short term, without point. I think you have to potentially consider leading up to the Olympic break that he might not be available, but we'll see how it goes. Right. And, everybody will say, and I've seen it already, well, he doesn't need to go to the Olympics. That's easy for us to say.
Yeah.
Right. This is a dream. Like if he has an opportunity to fulfill that dream and he's not going to put himself at risk, I'd love to see Braden Point have the opportunity to compete in the Olympics.
It's tough to take that away from a guy, at
Absolutely.
his age. It might be your last shot.
Yep.
We all would, but there's a hard reality to this, Eric, and Tim was talking about it earlier. They did some testing yesterday with the ice, and it wasn't good in Milan. We've heard a lot of horror stories that rink ain't ready, and I don't care about the locker rooms, but if your ice is not ready and it's dangerous, that's a no-go, as you know. They'll push it. Like, this is way too important to not try to go right to the end. But who's going to make that call? Are we going to wait till somebody gets injured on this stuff? I mean, it's concerning to me. It's concerning, especially when most of the Lightning team is going to be playing on that ice. It's not like we got 2 or 3 guys. The whole damn team's going. Yeah. So I don't want to be hyperbolic about this, but I'm concerned. I can't wait to see our Lightning players play in the Olympics, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And I would love to see Braden Point play, but this is the type of injury. The more rest you get, the better it is. I mean, listen. What I say and what you say is not going to make a hill of beans difference. So Braden, don't get mad at us. But I'm just going to say it. I'm really concerned. This is a type of injury that can get worse if you don't let it rest. I mean, and we don't know the severity of it, so we're talking out of turn that way, or at least I am. So I don't know. That one gives me a little bit of pause.
And it's valid. It's warranted. There's no doubt. The 2 things I'll say on it. First of all, with this training staff here, the medical staff with the Lightning, they always err on the side of caution, right? So if they say, hey, you could injure yourself more, he'll listen to their advice. There's no doubt about it. And at the end of the day, his first priority is to the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's who he gets paid to pay for.
That's right.
So, but the medical staff always errs on the side of caution in these situations. The other thing is, like, they did play some test events on that ice, and there were a couple of issues with it for sure, but that's why you have these test opportunities to go out there. The NHL and the NHLPA both put out a joint statement that's saying they're confident in the way things are going, but of course, what are they going to say publicly? Right. But I think the big concern that even you're alluding to is there's going to be a lot of hockey played on that ice.
Yep.
A lot of hockey, because the women's tournament starts first and then the men's tournament starts. And the other concern, nobody has really talked much about this, but I saw it. I think Chris Johnston was over there in Italy for these test runs that they did. The practice ice is not yet able to be used. And this is the practice rink that every team is going to use for their off-day practices, for morning skates, right? Again, that ice is going to be used quite a bit as well. And that is the concern, is that the ice is going to be too soft because it's going to get used a lot, like a lot over a 2-week span. So the fact that, we're sitting here on January 14th, the first men's tournament game, I believe, is February 13th or February 12th, somewhere in that range. But the women's tournament is the one that starts first. So they're going to be on the ice first before the NHL players and the other men's teams get over there. So it's a valid concern, I think, for a lot of people. And, I think if anybody saw any of the videos, what they brought out a watering can to cover some of the ice that had kind of melted or kind of, had kind of gone thin. So yeah, it's a valid concern for sure. But I mean, look, we saw it 4 years ago when, kind of COVID kind of hit everything. The league didn't hesitate to say, no, we're not going.
Pull the plug now.
If that's the case here, it's a little bit harder to say they could pull the plug here. I don't think they will, but they're not afraid to do it if they have to.
That's good to know. That's good. There's going to be a lot of pressure, obviously, because there's a lot of money and a lot of interest.
Oh yeah,
and it's at stake here.
And the players fought for this. The players fought for participation in the Olympics again. So
yeah, it just it's silly that we're at this point, though. It's really silly with all the money that's available there.
And the time that's 6 years, right? They wore these things 6 years out.
6 years.
Yeah. Now COVID, shut it down a little bit. But
ridiculous. You know how those Italians work, though.
What do they know about hockey?
They don't. Prego. Let's go vino. Let's get some vino.
And they've done it before. They hosted the Winter Games in 2002, right? So they have experience with this.
The world we live in. All right, hey, let's have some fun before you get out of here. The Stadium Series is getting here. They announced today. Tim McGraw's going to play. Boy, that's a nice little concert that you get. I'm excited. You don't look very excited. I know you were hoping.
Oh, was that real, or were you telling a joke?
Eric was hoping for Poison, a rat.
No,
infinitely better than Tim McGraw.
I'm okay with those bands, but no, not for headliners. No, they've been doing stuff. They had a Green Day in Columbus a couple years ago, and 21 Pilots were in Columbus last year. And I'm not a country fan, so Tim McGraw does not excite me.
I love Tim McGraw. I love Tim McGraw. That's pop country. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. League announced that today. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, for the crowd that we're gonna have, he's perfect. He's perfect. He's absolutely perfect.
Not this guy though.
Yeah. I don't even like him in Texas anymore.
What's wrong with you people? Come on.
Look, he's a big headliner. There's no doubt about it, and that's for the league. That's a big get. It's just. For us non-country fans, I'm like, eh.
Hey, I like country as much as the next guy, but I'm out on Tim McGraw. Give me a break. They can do so much better.
You guys, we're not, again, this is for the masses. It's a couple of pop songs. We're going to do 3 or 4 songs. You get it free with your ticket. Get out of here. What do you want? You want a full-blown Taylor Swift show? Get out of here.
What? Tell me what time the concert's over. I'll show up.
When does he play? Does he play between periods, or is that before or after? How's that work? Do we know?
I did not have a chance to read the release. Usually in years past, they've had the artists perform at intermission.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So they've been on, off to, because you get all this space on the field. So, they kind of have the stage set up off to the side of the rink.
So Tim McGraw will never be as notable as his daddy. He'll never live up to his daddy. That's for damn sure.
True. Tug McGraw.
Right.
I don't know about that. I think he sold a few records, had a few concerts. I don't know. We all love Tug, but come on now. Oh my God. I think his boy probably made a few more dollars doing what he did. No. I'm just saying. Anything else about the Stadium Series that got you all jacked up? Obviously they got the ice down already. They're putting the tent up. The whole thing's going on.
Yeah, the ice crew comes in next week, so they'll start the process. But if anybody's seen the video of how they're going to do this tent, it's incredible.
I thought that video was actually with the video I saw. I was like, "Oh, they're already doing it." Is it done?
No, that was their test. That was their test run when they were doing. They actually did it in Texas. To do the test run. So it's basically going to, obviously it's going to cover the ice. It's going to be enclosed. There's one entrance. It's air conditioned as they're building the ice, but it's going to take them roughly 6 hours to deconstruct this tent to get ready for the actual game itself. So they're going to have to make the call on a start time because let's face it, it's weather lottery.
Yes,
You're playing weather lottery here in Tampa because while it's going to be 59 degrees tomorrow, it might be 85 degrees in 6 days. Right. So they're going to have to make this call 6 hours ahead of time so they can start deconstructing this. They take a piece, pull it out. They take a piece, they pull it out. Like it's a massive engineering project that they've put together. I think a lot of people are going to want to tune in just to see if this is going to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
Right? Because it has that potential. Now the 6:30 start time, they have some wiggle room if they need to push it back to an 8 o'clock start or whatever it is. But again, they're going to have to make this call 6 hours ahead of time for what they say is a tent that normally would take a couple of days to completely deconstruct. They found a way to get it done in 6 hours. So
yeah, it's on rollers, I guess. So they're just going to roll it away and then take it off, which is a great. Again, I'm like, we can make a sheet of ice for outdoors, and they can't do it within 6 years over there in Italy. Get out of here. I don't understand. It's 6 years. We get like 2 weeks. We get a sheet of ice down. These jamokes can't do it in 6 years. What the hell's going on? The hell's going on around here?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and again,
I'm looking forward to that.
It's not the like 85, believe it or not, from what I've been told about these sheets of ice is the heat will affect it a little bit. They're just worried about the rain. If they get rain, that's a disaster. Anything else,
humidity
will be fine. Yeah, anything else will be fine.
Now they will have a solar blanket that they will cover the ice with as they're deconstructing this. So the elements, it won't be exposed to the elements. The ice won't. So they do have that in plan as well. But I tell you, like I'm even wearing my Stadium Series hat today. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun. The fans of Tampa, Lightning fans are going to enjoy the hell out of this thing because I was up at the one in Nashville in 2022, and it was an absolute blast. And this one should be along the same lines because, what kind of scenes is it going to be? You've got the ice and you've got the pirate ship in the background. Like it's just going to be sensational scenery and everything else. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, Double E's, tell everybody how they can get the great lightninginsider.com, how they can get a subscription. Do it now.
Yep. Lightninginsider.com is the website. There's two opportunities. There's a yearly plan that's $40. There's a monthly plan that's $4.99, prices that have not changed in now 9 years. I just passed the 9-year mark of the website going live behind the paywall. So those are your opportunities. And as we say, support your local media.
Yes, absolutely. Much needed in these days to get the real story. Lightninginsider.com. Thanks, partner. Appreciate you.
All right. Be well, boys.
Eric. All right, quick break. Then we're coming back. Charlie Strong, former Bucs defensive line coach, former USF coach, former Texas coach, former Louisville coach, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, will be joining us right here in studio. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Oops.
We're back. Sorry, coach is having a hard time finding the spot. We're a little tucked behind couple of buildings here.
It's hidden a little bit, right? If you don't know where it is.
Yeah. It's hard to find sometimes. So he's on his way. So stand by. He'll be here in just a second. Meanwhile, I'll say big thanks to Italiano Insurance. Make sure you do your insurance checkup, kids, as we do at the beginning of each and every year. And you can just give them a call, 813-877-7799, and make sure that you are fully insured. 40% of you are not fully insured with your home. So make sure you're getting all the discounts that you deserve. And there are new companies coming into the market with auto insurance and with homeowners insurance, and they're dropping their rates. So if you have not had your rates decreased, then you definitely need to call Italiano and have them shop it around. 813-877-7799 is the number, 813-877-7799. And save some money with the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Also, the Golden Diamond Source as well. We missed a break there. I want to make sure we tell you about Golden Diamond. It's a new year. A lot of new stuff going on over there. They've got their after Christmas sale is what's going on. We've got great sales going on. They have a new men's department over there if you want to go check that out as well. And gold has never been higher, folks. So bring in your old gold jewelry and get paid cash right now at the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road and online at goldendiamond.com. As we await Charlie, we'll go to some of your comments. The Rashad interview yesterday on the Loose Cannons pod yesterday was very telling. Would recommend everyone to give it a watch. Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to reach out to Rashad too and see if we can get him on. They did a great job with the interview. Even Bell says, saw the Loose Cannon White did seem to be revealing. Yeah, he was trying to parse his words as best he could.
Yeah.
But got to the point where it's like saying, he should probably not be calling the signals and trying to manage the game at the same time. It's a very, very difficult thing to do in this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's just too much. I think it's proving too much because he's not doing either one well. So if we're going to make changes, that should be something that is, definitely on the table 100%.
JP, Buccaneers Communications just announced on Twitter that the Bucs have completed a virtual interview with Craig Ackerman for their open special teams coordinator position. He, of course, was with the Dolphins last year.
Okay. How were the Dolphins special teams last year?
I watched 8 minutes of Dolphins football last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't look at the numbers.
For the Bucs game. Yeah.
I mean, I know we had like 17 kicks blocked. Did they block one of our kicks? I think they did. I think it blocked a field goal or two.
Or 7. Didn't everybody?
I think everybody did pretty much. Yeah. And we never fired the special teams during the season. Bell says the Texas defense is the truth right now. The Texans playing to win. We didn't talk enough about Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. What a dynamic duo. And who's that guy they got in the middle too as a plugger.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really good defense, exceptional defense. And, the Bucs going into Houston and winning that game was huge, and how they did it too. Allowing them to score late.
If the Texans and D'Amico Ryans, if he could get that offense in order, find a stable offensive coordinator who knows what to do with CJ Stroud, and find a running back, man, that whole team could be dangerous, man. They'd be up there with the Patriots this year, I think, in wins and losses. They just struggle on offense so bad.
Where are you on CJ Stroud, Ohio State boy?
So I'm never a fan of the Ohio State quarterback. Under any circumstances am I ever a fan of an Ohio State quarterback, because I don't think it translates to the NFL. All right, we have a history of that. CJ Stroud in his rookie season was the exception to that, clearly. But now his fall off, is it him or is it coaching? I mean, we don't know. We saw flashes his rookie season, but now he hasn't really replicated that. So is that due to coaching? Is that the system? Or is it CJ Stroud just is what he is? And I don't know the answer to that. We do know Ohio State quarterbacks don't ever make it in the NFL with a couple of exceptions. I mean, look, I think we saw enough of Justin Fields. Just go back to any Ohio State quarterback. They always get drafted high,
Right.
But they just don't. It doesn't translate. Obviously, Will Howard's not doing anything in Pittsburgh. You don't. It just, for whatever reason, it doesn't translate. So I'm never on Ohio State quarterbacks in the league. But
and it's also probably more pre-NIL transfer portal. These quarterbacks are working from a pocket like Tua did at Alabama. It's easier for a 5'9" quarterback to work behind an offensive line when, 9 out of the 12 games you play, you're not going to get touched, and you're just so much superior up front. You're not facing pressure. Your pockets are perfect. You can step into every throw. That's not the NFL. That's just not the way the NFL game is played. So I think that definitely skews it for those quarterbacks. It's just, and when they get to the NFL, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
What is this?
I used to be cushy back here. I could not here.
Michael
Lewis says the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons arrows are pointing up while the Bucs arrow is pointing down. It will be harder next year to win the NFC South with Bowles calling the defense. Totally agree. 100%. Joel Forsland says good owners can still make bad decisions. Their bad decision will be corrected next January. I agree. It's just a matter of time. I don't see how you can look at this body of work from Todd and suddenly import that it's going to be a Super Bowl winning team. I don't see it.
I mean, look, let me play devil's advocate here for a second. This is something I thought about yesterday. Yes, great owners can make bad decisions. Everybody can make bad decisions. But who's to say that the Glazers don't have the mindset that Todd Bowles can be here as long as Todd Bowles wants to be here? And we'll just keep replacing pieces underneath them. Because that's certainly what they've shown this year. And at his age, they may be thinking we owe it to Todd to let him go out on Todd's terms. And if Todd says he wants to
I can
stay,
tell you factually, Tim, that that's not the case.
Okay.
There are not everyone is infatuated with Todd Bowles over there. There's
right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But they've made this decision for this season.
Yeah.
So then why wouldn't that maybe carry over to next season with another, 8-9, 9-8 record?
Listen,
I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just scatter shooting here.
I would love for the Glazers to come out and do a press conference and tell us the reasons why. Tell us the reasons why. I'm sure that they have good reasons. And I think they should share it with the fan base. And I know that that's not something that they usually do, but these are different circumstances. You have an entire fan base, by my guess, by any metric that you look at on social media, which is about the only metrics we can get, any polls that are done, it's 85, 90% negative. And I think for good reason. And
which makes it even more curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's the analysts across the board. Most are out. Even people that have supported Todd throughout his career. Most of the, we've talked about this, Rondé Barber, Jamel Dean, Yaya Diaby. A lot of them have come out and said there's a lot that's broken here and that needs to be changed. Practices are too soft. Defense is too complex. Game management, we pointed out the errors in that constantly.
Right.
So with all that, why are you sticking with them? To let us know. I think it's fair that the fan base should get some type of clarification on that.
JP, you want to play my Stoops video before
Yes.
Charlie gets here?
Yep.
Because I have a feeling we're going to end the show with Stoops here for sure. So yesterday we talked about embarrassing moments in press conferences for ourselves, and I threw myself under the bus with an experience where I was asking after I showed up late, which you never do. You don't ask a question, but I did it anyway.
Yes, you did.
It freaking backfired on me. So I found the video. So I thought I would share with everybody. Let's all laugh at Tim like
Tim Hamm over here to your right, CowboysSI.com. Talked about the 5 turnovers today against the arguably the best team in the league in Houston. Still under 2 minutes in the game with a possible chance to win or tie the game. How do you talk about a little bit how you feel the team's come along these last 4 weeks?
Well, like I said, did you just come in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured because I've already addressed that it's really pretty amazing that we had any opportunity to win with just to go in the game and we're on the 3-yard line with a chance to, either.
I just cut it off there.
You dumbass.
I felt. I don't know if you can hear it on the audio, but he said, "Did you just come in?" And I was like,
"Yeah, of course you can." Yeah, yeah. I've already addressed that.
I laugh at myself all the time for that, man.
Oh
God.
Man, listen. Back in the day when Torts was here, and he would, if you asked a stupid question, and I asked a couple, I admit it. It was when I first came here to Tampa Bay and I was new to covering NHL hockey. And I had to learn a lot and not horribly stupid questions, but if they weren't buttoned up, Torch would call you out.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys didn't like that. A lot of people in the media didn't like that. I kind of
Rick Carlisle's like that too. When it comes
I'd be
to
like, as long as you're, and it's like, that's fair game. That's fair game. If you ask a stupid question, the coach gets you on it, then that's fair game. Be better. And so I was. I made sure my questions were more buttoned up. And I think that's fair. We're having a lot of those discussions in the media right now.
Yeah.
It's funny how, people who are not in your business can suddenly become experts on how your business should be run.
Oh, for sure. We deal with that too. As members of the media, JP, we get criticized by fans all the time. Well, if I had that job, I'd ask this and this and this. Well, you probably wouldn't.
No, absolutely not. And this just, again, for the whole Liam Cohen thing. And I see this so much. It's only 30 seconds. We get it. It was only 30 seconds. Totally understand that. But have you ever heard of this slippery slope argument? You ever heard of that? Yeah, it happened. Yeah. Yes, you have, of course. People talk about it all the time. If you start allowing this is all press conferences will become.
Yeah, so now you got to allow everybody to do it because you let her do it.
Right. So, anybody want to have a chat with Liam Cohen and tell him how great he is? Come on over. We'll credential you and we can gloss our coach all day long.
And by the way, that could go both ways. We didn't talk about that enough. You could have a reporter or somebody that wants to pump up the coach. Well, you could also have a reporter that wants to dress down the coach.
That's true.
That's also not okay.
Yeah. How would that go down? Yeah. Would everybody be okay with that? Oh, it's only 30 seconds of him calling him an idiot.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, have you ever coached before? Was this your first game? Because you made some crappy decisions out there.
How in the hell?
Still have credentials after that?
Yeah, I would love to be able to go in there and go, how in the hell do you have 151 left? You get a turnover and you totally turtle and don't even try to score a touchdown in a must-win game with the offense being the better side of your ball. Am I going to ask Todd Bowles that question? No, not like that.
Coach, I'm just curious. Do you remember the sign to signal timeout that you show the refs when you want the clock to stop when you're up against it in the fourth quarter? Do you remember what that is with your hands? Can you show us so that we know that you know? Because I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's not going to go over too well. And that, you know what? And it's what we call protocol is you don't do that. Yeah. So I guess since you all know about our business, we should have press boxes where we let everybody in and people can cheer.
God, I would hate that.
Like that. So that's okay too. Again, I understand that people want to rip on the media. I get that. And we ask, I shouldn't even say away. We ask a lot of stupid questions. I get that. But it doesn't mean that we're going to change our protocol. And by the way, we have to be better with our questions. 100%.
Yep. Agreed. And don't show up late and then ask a question.
What's Buckin says, where's Charlie Strong? He's working on getting here. That, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to try to, time our breaks. Maybe we'll take one more. Let's take a break, and I'll see if I can go get this. Wait, hold on. Hope we found him. Come on. We're just getting ready to go to break. Come on in, Coach. Come on in. We got you. Have a seat right there. I apologize. I should have sent a limo. Right? No. We should have. Here, pull the mic up. Pull the mic up.
No, you didn't need to send a limo.
I should have sent the fan stream limo.
I should have sent a helicopter.
all over the place. Because I came by Cass Flats.
It's a little hard to find.
And then I didn't know it was tucked up in the corner.
Yeah. It's hard to find.
I passed it.
Well, you're here now.
No, here.
You're here now. Welcome in. You can throw those headphones on because Tim, my co-host Timmy, is in Texas, and he's a big fan of yours, by the way, because he's a Texas A&M guy. I'll give you that right up front.
Hey, Charlie was a GA at A&M, man. I remember those days.
That's exactly right. With Jackie Sherrill back there today, R.C. Slocum. R.C. Slocum helped me get my first job. I was at Texas A&M as a graduate assistant. Ray Dorr was the head coach at Southern Illinois University. A position came open, and Ray Dorr said, I have no money. I can't even bring you in on an interview. You got to get here on your own. So R.C. Slocum paid for me to fly to St. Louis. Ray Dorr met me at the airport in St. Louis, and then we drove over to Carbondale, Illinois.
How about that? Dude, I'm so excited to have you here. And unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of time, and you'll be here again. But you got so many stories to tell.
Oh, it's plenty of them.
You've worked for Spurrier. You've worked for everybody.
Oh, so I started
Nick Saban.
You know what? If you think about it, I started with Charlie Pell to Jackie Sherrill to Galen Hall to Steve Spurrier to Lou Holtz. So I went from Spurrier to Coach Holtz. And then I went from Coach Holtz with Ron Zook. And then Urban came in and took the job in Florida. So worked with Urban in Florida. And then I work with Nick Saban. I've had a unbelievable run.
And a two-time ACC Coach of the Year, Louisville.
Yes, and then I was at Louisville as a head coach, and then I took the Texas job after the South Florida, and then
it's just, like it was one stop after another. And I've been very fortunate.
Well,
Were you on the Urban Meyer Jaguars staff too?
Yes, I was on the Urban Meyer
Man, I have
Jaguars
so many
staff.
questions.
It wasn't as bad as everyone thinking.
It wasn't the longest tenure in the world, was it?
It wasn't.
Is Coach on the plane? Is he coming back with us?
I know it.
Forget it. We don't even need to go there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But I will say, since we got limited time today, and you'll be back on, hopefully, if you don't hate this interview too much, Coach.
No.
A lot of our fans in the chat were, hey, where's Charlie? We need to hear what's going on at One Buck Place. And I know as a coach who were here, there's not a lot of stuff you can talk about, but there are players that are talking about things. Rondé's said some things about the defense. What would you like the fans to know about the tenure this year and what was going on inside the building? Because it was obviously a tremendous start. You guys had a tremendous start at 6-2. You get to the bye, and there were more injuries on the offensive line, and I think took a huge toll on this team. I think Baker was banged up. What can you tell us?
Well, that's what happens, Jay. We started off and we were 6-2 at one time, and then the injuries hit you, and so once the injuries hit you, it's so tough because you lose the continuity of your team, and then now you're trying to replace a guy who hasn't been playing, and then he comes in, but then it was just not at just one position. It was all over the place, because you look at on offense, yet our offensive line never was together. When you talk about, you look at Tristan and Luke, that you lose both of them so early that you was never, Barton was never him, Bredisher, they was never able to feel the flow there. And then Mark, he gets hurt. And then you look at wide receiver, Godwin was working back.
Right.
And so now
Mike goes down.
And then Mike goes down. So now everything was placed on Becker. So Abuka. So the thing that happened with Mac is that people start double teaming him because that's all you had.
Right.
And so now you start getting double there. And then you lose Bucky for the span that you lost him. And so Baker, it's so hard on him because he was trying to do so much, and it's tough because he put everything on his shoulders when he could have still just let it be and let everybody play their role. But that's what's really tough. And then you look at us on defense. You go with Vito, who's the staple in the middle. And so now you lose Kalaja, who has been his, those two guys are inseparable. So now you lose him up front, so that hurts you up front.
That was a big loss. How much did that hurt you when Kalaja went down?
That hurt a lot because he is such a playmaker and he can make a lot of plays for you. And so when you lose him, those are two guys that work. When you look at the front, when you have guys that work together, even when you look at the outside backers and the inside backers and the defensive front and the secondary, all those guys, with Yaya, they're all working together. So you lose Kalaja, which was a big loss for you. And so now you're trying to, try to patch it together where you have to move guys around, and you just don't have that guy who can replace him because he's a special player. So it's hard to replace.
When you have him, you can get pressure with 4. But without him, it seemed like you couldn't. Is that a big part to this defense, that if you can't get the pressure with 4, it starts to break down?
Well, we're an 8-man front team, so you need to get pressure with 4. And when you had to bring an extra guy now, it put pressure on the secondary. So you're young in the secondary because you think about we started 2 rookies in the secondary. So it's 2 rookies start back there, and then you look at a second-year player with Smith. But it was tough because you're trying to piece it all together, and each and every week it was something different. So now once you got past the 6-2 and then the injuries start happening, things just start building, and then they start building, and you're trying to put it all together, and it was hard to do.
And from a scheme standpoint, we've heard, I know this is your first year in Todd's scheme, and we've heard from Rondé talks about it's really, really complicated, and a lot of the players, even we heard Jamel Dean say that, Yaya say that. Is that something that they just weren't grasping, or was it with injury related, or how did that shake out?
I don't know if it's the complication. It's tough because when you have the injuries and then guys are not you don't ever get no consistency because guys don't play. You don't have the same guys playing with you each and every week. Like you look at Dean went down some games. So now you got Morrison, who's a rookie who comes in and replaces him. And then we lose McCullough. So it wasn't so much a complication. It was more of
different people coming in each and every game.
It was each and every game. Here's a different guy. Now we got to teach this guy. And so I don't know if it was, the scheme being very complicated. It was more of, here we got to try to now put it all together with what we have. And you sometimes it's guys who had not played that you're trying to get them ready to go play.
And that last, I will say this, the last Panthers game here at home was nasty, right? It was raining down. But I tell you what, I thought the defense, that was one of the better games you guys played. And it seemed like there was more energy. There was a little bit more physicality. That seemed a little bit different than that's just to my eye. What did you like about that game and how you guys finished?
Well, just overall as a team, we take the ball, we go drive it, and we score, and just how we played and came together and played as a team, and it was and that's what's really tough because you sit back and you evaluate and you try to even as a head coach it's tough because you're sitting there trying to piece it all together. You know, like how do we come back and bounce back and play so well that game? And then some other games we give up the big play, and we're not fortunate enough to make the plays that we made in that game.
So obviously you were part of the guys that were let go last week. As you look at this situation right now with the Buccaneers, what would you, if you were consulting the Glazers, how would you say this needs to be fixed on defense or just as a whole? What would your thoughts be?
Well, it would be hard for me to say because you like to just sit down and just evaluate it, and you just can't do it. It's a seasonal process.
Yeah,
you got to sit down and say, hey, listen, this is where we need.
Who are the personnel,
right? Because it starts with that. It starts with, hey, this is what we probably need to go get, but it's hard to really put a finger on it right now.
Yeah.
Because you still have to evaluate as a coach to what you're seeing and go back and just, take a look at just a deep dive into everything.
Yeah.
It's just not just one thing that's the issue. We know, like, what are our issues and how do we fix it?
Yeah. From an edge rusher standpoint, I thought, Yaya looks like he's what, 3 years in now?
Yes.
I thought he played well at times, and maybe the numbers aren't where you want to go, but what are your thoughts on how he played?
I like that. Yeah. And he puts a lot into it. And he's one of those guys that really care. And he's he was in a junior college. He went to Louisville, and he's still young, JP. That's the thing about him. He's still learning how to play that position. And I just, when I look at him, I just look at someone who each and every year is going to develop and become. I look at Yaya sometimes, and I think about a Chason. I don't know if you remember Chason. Chason, he's at New England now, but he came out of LSU. And so when he came out of LSU, he went to Jacksonville. And at that time, he was there when we were there. And it took him a while to get going. It took him a while to really develop. And now he's done really turned into something special. And he's hard to block, and he's a guy who's very disruptive. And I kind of look at Yaya like that because I just think that he's going to be someone that's going to develop and going to become something special.
And how does a player develop like that? Is that teaching at the NFL level? Is that just getting used to what you can and cannot do? How does that, with the jump from college to pro and that development, how is there still a lot of development that goes on in the pros?
There is. And what happens a lot of times is that when you come from college to the NFL, you don't realize just the speed of the game. You don't realize just how good the players are. Because if you're sitting there and just he gets better because he goes against Tristan every day. Yeah. And so now you talk about you going against Tristan every day. So only thing it's going to do is make you better. But even after you go against him each and every day, you still got to refine your game. Yeah. And you got to stay on top of your game because you're knowing, hey, it's something very small as, I'm overstepping or I'm not getting the guy's hands off of me or, I'm standing up when I come out of my stance. Those little things, they will help you because the more you study yourself, and that's where the good ones study themselves like Vita and Collagen, those guys, they study themselves. Like they know what their weakness is. Yeah. And so they try to strengthen their weakness.
And just a couple thoughts on working with Vita. He is a monster, is he not? And he's kind of a fun guy too, right?
He's an unbelievable guy. He is one of the most. You just love being around him because here's this big old guy and he is so loving and he's so caring and he cares about the team and he cares about winning. But he's one of that you would never. When he gets mad, it very seldom do you see it. But when he does, it comes out of him. But no, you can't find a better person than him, and he is a really special person.
How much longer do you think he can play? He's such a key.
I think he can play because I think what's this year 8 for him, because he takes care of his body, and when you see a big guy like that and he doesn't get injured, he doesn't get injured. So now if he can maintain and continue to play it at a level, and only thing he's going to do is he's going to get better because now the older that he get, now he's really going to get smarter. And he's going to realize this is how I take care of my body. This is how I'm going to get myself better. And this is how I'm going to continue to play at the level. Because you look at Mike Evans, look at the level that he's playing at, and he's still going. And he's still going. And he's still got years that he can still go play.
Oh, yeah. You think he'll come back?
I hope he does. I mean, he's a unbelievable person. You can't. It's hard to find people like him.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the people are putting in the chat that the Bucs need to invest in that front seven in this draft. I would have to concur in that. There's some good players there, but obviously, I don't think Levante is coming back. Do you think he's coming back?
Oh, and you look at Levante and what he's given the Bucs in the career.
Amazing.
He's had. It's amazing.
Hall of Famer.
For him to play. And I told him, I said, I remember recruiting you out of high school.
Out of Miami, yeah.
Out of Miami. And he had a teammate named Spencer who came out at the same time. Everybody, Spence went to Miami. Then Levante had to go to junior college out to Nebraska. But for him to have the career that he's had and in one place, just think about what he's done here for this whole organization, for the city of Tampa, and the special player that he is. I think that with him, he knows when enough is going to be enough, and I think that he's going to be the guy that, hey, it's time for me to step away from it. Yeah. But his leadership ability is what's key for that whole group.
Timmy, you have a question for the coach?
I'm fascinated, Coach, by position coaches and things like that, in the NFL and college coaching ranks. So as a D-line coach, and you've got obviously linebackers position coaches too, when you've got a hybrid guy like maybe Hassan Reddick, when I was learning football, we didn't have edge rusher designation. You were either defensive end or you were a linebacker. That's all still kind of new to me, learning that position designation. How do you guys as position coaches dictate who's in charge of that guy? Is it just like Hassan Reddick? I know he's listed as a linebacker, but he plays a lot with the defensive line groups and things like that. How do you guys differentiate that in the room?
Well, we have an outside linebacker coach, a guy that is for that position. So he coaches that position, and that's Larry Foote. Foote has the outside backers. So that guy, you look at him and just the way your scheme is set up, like he's a guy who is a rusher, and he can also drop into coverage if you need him to drop into coverage. But he has a position coach, and he has someone that is assigned to him.
And you guys all, especially in this defense, you're all working together. And in terms of sometimes you're dropping, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're. So you guys meet as a whole as well, right? As the defense.
Oh yes, yeah. Like you meet and everybody, so that way everybody knows what everyone else's responsibility is.
Yeah, and that's sometimes those were some of the issues for this defense. So, well, we'll see how that shakes out in the offseason. Coach, will you come back and we got a little bit more time?
Oh yes, I will. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I was.
No, don't worry about it. As long as you come back, that's all. That's all we got.
Yes, I come back, Jay. And yes, sir.
Because I want to get into some of what you see going on in college football as well. Because
yes.
during your lifetime and your things have changed a bit.
Oh, they have changed dramatically.
Could you be a head coach in this day and age?
You know, you have to. It's amazing just to watch it develop. Just football period, because when we were coming up, it was more or less where you told a player what to do and he did it, and there was no questions. So now what you have to deal with is almost the new millennium. It's they want to know why. Why do I have to do it like that? Or why are we doing it like that? You know, everything's a why now. It's just like it used to be a time like, hey, just do it. Don't ask why. Just do it.
Do your job. Yeah.
But it's fun to. And I'm all about, Jay, paying players. I'm all about it. But it's just, I don't want to see it ruin college athletics.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it ruin college. And, you know, guys can get paid and all that. And, you know, and sometimes I think about, too, when guys didn't get paid, they survived and they did good for themselves.
They did okay.
They did okay.
Some of them were getting paid. You don't know anything about that. I know. You don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that.
No, anything about that. That never happens. Nowhere in football. Now, at least now it's over the table. It used to be under the table. Now it's over the table.
It's right there in front of you.
And there's a lot to it. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Why do we have to do that? You know, I really don't have time to explain that right now. Just go out there and cover that guy, please. Please. Yeah. Just do that.
Yeah.
And if you don't, he's getting very mean. I think I'm going to jump in the portal. That coach yelled at me, which is probably why Nick left the game, right? Nick Saban left the game.
We had just played Michigan. We just got beat by Michigan in the Rose Bowl. And I can remember Coach came back and he had his meeting with the players. And he came back and he was talking about just the meeting with the players. And it was just, he's like, it's amazing how none of my conversations dealt with how we're going to be better next year, how we're going to win. It was more or less, you know, what am I going to get paid? And so it was all about, you know, it was more of, you know, the players. And that's what happened. Once you started and we opened this can of worms, so now that's what the players are really concerned about. Look at the transfer portal. It's out of control. You know, and think about it. A guy, you know, guys now, they don't feel like that they owe a university anything. They just feel like, hey, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna stay 1 year, then I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Whatever works best for me. Yeah.
You know, Jimmy, what I get concerned about is like, you know, 4 or 5 years from now, this young man is gonna be done with college. Now, if he's not fortunate enough to get drafted or play in the next level in the NFL, then what happens? He just got paid all his money. You're not going to go out and get a job where you're going to get paid.
No, not like that.
No, not like that. So when you get in when the real world hits you, when real life hits you, then what are you going to do? And then you worry about if guys are, you know, do they have their agents or whomever their financial advisors, are they making sure that they pay their taxes so that, you know, 10 years down the road, you know, 10 years down the road,
I got to pay taxes?
Yeah.
What?
So, you know, 10 years down the road, that doesn't hit them. But you just, it's like I said, it's good that they're getting paid, but with that comes a lot of issues also.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us here today. We'll have some more time at another time. So appreciate you joining us. We're going to end it there. Timmy, thank you very much. Obviously, great job. Coach. Appreciate all you commenters out there as well. No Lightning game tonight, but we will see if they can go. When's our next game? We'll break the record, 12 in a row. That's coming up. So we'll keep you updated on that. And what happens with the OC position with the Buccaneers. So we'll be all over that as well. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Sorry, dang, we could have a good time.